Hey everyone, Steve here from Strategic Fishing again. Want to break down what I do when the break wall just isn't performing due to water conditions. Last week when I went out and did that crankbait video, the water temp was 60 to 61 degrees, pressure was great. Everything just kind of lined up and I knew that the crankbait was going to work. This week I went out on Thursday and Friday. I knew that the water temperature was down before I was going out there. I figured I'd still be able to scratch away at a couple fish. I got out there. We fished the outside of the San Pedro break wall. Water temp was low as I knew it would be, but we also came across some moon jellies. It looks like there's a bloom going on. Couldn't find biting fish in front of San Pedro break wall. Went over to the Federal break wall, that middle section. Same thing, couldn't get anything to bite. Ended up going on the inside of the Federal break wall, and we've managed to get a couple of short bass and some small sculpin, but not what we were looking for. I only had a couple hours to fish that day, so that pretty much wrapped up the day. Came back the next day and I already had a plan of what I was gonna be doing based on the conditions that I saw the day before. However, when I went out, I did stop inside the middle break wall just to give it a shot. We fished it for about 15 minutes and as I suspected, no biting fish again, very, very slow. So what I did then is move deeper into the harbor looking for warmer water. The pressure was great, so I knew that the fish would be biting. We were fishing the incoming tides. I knew that there was gonna be water movement, so the fish should be biting. However, it all had to do with that water temp. Move deeper in, looking for warmer water. You'd be surprised at how big of a difference 1 to 2 degrees is inside that harbor. So went towards the back of the harbor looking for warmer water. We were able to find some, and as soon as we did, that's when the fish started biting. Now I'm gonna be covering some of the baits and tackle that I used. So we were actually doing a marketing shoot for the new Ahi Ikara jigs, which worked really well. We were comparing it to some of the traditional lures that I'd be using back there. So some of the stuff that I would use would be something like this, which is a 2.5 inch swim bait on a 1/2 ounce lead head with an underspin, or a 3 inch swim bait on a swim jig like this. Or you can also pair a swim jig with a creature bait like this. The A-rig is also very common to throw back there. That works well as well. However, one thing that I can tell you is that day, the Ikara jig was outperforming all of this. We had 3 guys on the boat, plus another guy on another vessel. All of us started off throwing different things, and one guy was on the Ikara jig, and we quickly saw that the guy that was on the Ikara jig was constantly bit. So all of us switched over to Ikara jig, and we just started slaying at that point. The setup that I was using is a Shimano GLF rod. This is a 15 to 30 medium heavy rod with a fast action, and I've paired it with a Stradic 3000 reel. It's loaded with 30-pound braid. And I was using 20-pound GT4 fluorocarbon with this. So the reason I was using 20-pound fluorocarbon is because when you're fishing deeper in that harbor, you're fishing a lot of pylons, a lot of heavy structure, jetties, stuff like that. And sometimes you're gonna need that pulling power to be able to get those fish out of the rocks or around pilings. And you need abrasion resistance, and that's why I like using 20-pound GT4 versus something that's lighter. You can also go as light as 15-pound, but if I know I'm gonna be fishing those nasty areas, I'm just gonna go straight 20-pound. So in conclusion, if you're fishing in the harbor and you know that you're fishing an incoming tide or an outgoing tide, so there's water movement going on, but the fish just aren't wanting to bite, and you notice that the water temperature is down, go into the back, look for areas where there's gonna be warmer water, and most likely you're gonna be able to find biting fish. That's what I did on the second day, and it paid off. We ended up wrapping up the day with about 40 to 50 fish caught. We had everything from sand bass, spotted bay bass, calico bass, a short halibut, and we even got into a wide open bite of spot fin croakers. So ended up working out really good. Like I said, the key was this Ikara jig, so make sure to check it out on promarahi.com. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and stay tuned for those fish that we caught.